Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about all of the books that I read in July. I think July has been my most successful reading month this year. I've absolutely loved reading and picking up books, and I've really just been enjoying what I've been reading. And I also got a bunch of my library holds that have been on hold for months that all came in at the same time, like right around the end of June. So I had a handful of audiobooks that I needed to finish and an ebook in that format. So that contributed to my reading. I finished, I think five of my of the books from my July TBR, and I also am about 2/3 of the way through American Prometheus. I was pretty sure I wasn't going to finish this by the end of July. I'm on page 416 and it's about 600 pages of actual reading. The back is back like 200 pages is all notes and the index and stuff like that. So I feel like that was a very successful reading month. I finished 7 physical books, 2 ebooks, and 5 audiobooks, and I only added 2 books to my collection. Both are ones that I did not purchase. I have Pretty, which was added to my collection because it is my book studies book for the summer, and so that book was sent to me. And then I also won a Goodreads giveaway and I added Fatebreaker to my collection. And I've read the first 2 of those books, so I'm excited to get to that 3rd book eventually. So I think that's all like my stats for this month. Now we're going to go through, I gotta flip back. I have my handy dandy bullet journal here. I have flipped back through to my book page. It is getting really filled up. Lots of red. Red was my color for July. I still have quite a few books over here that started on my physical TBR from the beginning of the year, but I'm hoping to tackle a lot of those in August. If I do run out of space up here, I'm gonna add some more books down there. So that would be really exciting to see this whole page colored in and fun, but we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. So I'm not going to do this in any particular order. I have a stack of physical books here that I finished. I have a couple physical books that I already returned to their owner, so I'll just pop a picture probably up here. And then I'll also put a picture for any ebooks or audiobooks as well. I think we'll start with the physical books because those are easy and they're right in front of me. So the first physical book that I finished in July, and again, I'm not going in any order of how I finished these. However, I do know this one I did finish first. This one is Traveling to Infinity. Actually, I didn't finish this one first. I don't think. Oh well, doesn't matter. This one is Traveling to Infinity. This was on my June TBR and I finished reading it in July. I only had a little bit left, so I finished it very soon on in July. This is Jane Hawking's biography about her life with Stephen Hawking. So that was a really interesting read, and one of my goals for the rest of the year is to read like a biography, autobiography, memoir, that genre, about 1 per month. So Traveling to Infinity was my first book. Another physical book that I finished was Iron Flame. I enjoyed this book as well. I think I liked Fourth Wing more than I liked Iron Flame, but we'll see. I did pre-order the 3rd book, Onyx Storm, as well. And that's just a continuation of the story. That book did not take me very long to read, only a couple of days. I had some other things going on, but when I had time to sit down and read, I was really engaged with the story, and it made me really excited about reading. Another book that I finished, this one is also off my physical TBR, my July TBR, was Woman of Light. This is also a borrowed book. I really enjoyed this. This is a coming of age novel. I would classify it more as like literary fiction. There's a little bit of like magical realism as well in this book, and I just really thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a nice like change of pace because I'd been reading a lot of fantasy books. Another book that I finished was Fable. This was a reread for me. It only took me about maybe 2 or 3 days to reread. I have The Last Legacy and Saint, which I recently acquired, but it's been a couple years since I read Fable and Namesake, so I want to reread those before I delved into like the side stories. So that was nice to check off my list and check off my physical TBR. Then the last physical book that I have in front of me that I read in July was Wayward. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I liked the witchy elements. I liked all 3 of the characters' stories. And it was just a very enjoyable, fun, fast read. I would definitely recommend it. Yeah, it was just very enjoyable, and I liked how the story was told and how you're jumping around perspectives and timelines as well. So I had, so that was 5 physical books. The other 2 physical books that I read were borrowed books that I already returned. They were Loath to Love You, which is, that one I believe was the collection of novellas, 3 novellas by Ali Hazelwood. I didn't like this one as much. It really took me a long time to read. I think started it back in April or May, put it down, and then picked it up again to finish reading. I was motivated to finish it because I wanted to return it to my sister because I knew I was seeing her. And then the other book was also my sister's. It was Love Theoretically, also by Ali Hazelwood, and I absolutely loved this book. I liked the physics references. It was really enjoyable and engaging, and that was a really fast read. I think I read that one in about a day. So that was the 7 physical books that I read. I also read 2 ebooks. The first one is The Mysterious Benedict Society on my August TBR. I actually have the second book, which I got for free when I was a kid in my library's reading program. So I wanted to read the first book to hopefully motivate me to read the second book. So I checked that one out from my library. I had put it on hold and it came available in July. So that's when I read it. And then I also read In the Likely Event by Rebecca Yarros on Kindle Unlimited. And I'm really excited to read more of her work. I really enjoyed this. It was a really fun, fast read, but it also had like some really deep emotional pieces to it, and I just found it very enjoyable to read. So I'm hoping in August I'll get to read some more of the ebooks that are available by her. Okay, and last but not least, we have the 5 audiobooks that I finished. I finished The Lamplighters. This was one that had been on my TBR list for a while, and it was just one that happened to be available at my library when I needed an audiobook. And then, of course, like 3 days after I checked that one out, 3 of my audiobook holds came available. So Lamplighters is about lighthouse keepers, and it's based very loosely or inspired by the disappearance of the 3 lighthouse keepers, and how they like disappeared in the early 1900s. And it's like it was inspired by that. It was a really well told story, and I definitely would recommend listening to it on audiobook because I just love how it was read by the actor or the reader. So I felt like I had the best experience with that book because I listened to it on audiobook. Another audiobook, this was one of my holds that became available, was Karen M. McManus, You'll Be the Death of Me. Really enjoyed that book. I enjoy her young adult mystery thriller. I don't really know how to classify her genre, but I enjoy her writing. So it's a nice, quick, fast-paced story, and I think I have another one of her books on hold. So hopefully that audiobook will come available, not with 3 others. Then I also had A Ruse of Shadows, which is the 8th book, I believe, in the Lady Sherlock series, and I enjoy that series. I enjoy the storyline. I don't have much to say about the book because it is pulling on more storylines from previous books, so I don't want to spoil anything. Then I had another nonfiction book come available, which was The Song of the Cell, and it was all about like cellular biology and like cells. And so that was really interesting. I really enjoyed that, and it was just another like nonfiction book, and I've been kind of on a nonfiction kick lately, which is exciting because I have a lot of nonfiction on my physical TBR. And the last book that I finished in July was Mirrored Heavens, which is the 3rd book in the Black Sun trilogy. I think the trilogy is actually called Between Earth and Sky. Let me look. Between Earth and Sky is the trilogy. I believe it's just a trilogy, but Mirrored Heavens was the last one, and it like wrapped up all the storylines. I really enjoyed being in that world. I was very excited as soon as that audiobook started to dive back into that world, and I really enjoyed those books. So let me just double check to make sure I hit all of the books. Yep. So those are the 14 books that I read in July. Like I said, one of my best reading months so far, and hopefully I will be able to get through my entire August TBR and read some more things in mood reading. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.